Welcome everyone to the Watchlist, your virtual weekly TV guide right here on the Latiners Network, ready to go over all the shows, documentaries, films released on streaming over the past week. Give you our best recommendations or non-recommendations as the case may be. And of course, as always, at the end of the show, letting you know what's coming out over the next couple weeks so you too can create your very own watch list. Joining us as always is Senor Jaime, aka Chewy. What it is, what it was, what it shall be.
What up, brother?
Another
Dude,
glorious
your
week.
your your hat is on backwards. Turn that around, dude. You're not in high school anymore, man. You're an adult. Act like it.
Sometimes you just gotta blend in, dude. You gotta just go with the times, dude.
Be, don't be a fool.
The old man with a oh, sorry, I didn't want to insult you like that. That's a glorious week of television. Or am I overstating it? I think I'm overstating it. I'm definitely
Probably
overstating
overstating it.
it. Way overstating it. It was a week of television. How's that?
Yeah.
So let's get started. Not a whole lot of stuff. Some things that I might not bring up because I didn't get a chance to watch everything. Some things, yeah, whatever. It is what it is. But we'll start first. The documentary. Got a couple of documentaries on. You saw one of them. I know you probably saw both. The first one is the Hollywood Demons on Max. This is a weekly release, of course. I think it's going to be a six-parter or whatever. Look into the dark side of Hollywood and some of its stars. For example, the first episode was Stephen Collins, of course, who is the famous everyone's father in Seventh Heaven. Very popular show on the WB, which is the precursor to CW. Dealing on his questionable past, gross past. Actually, it's not alleged. He did confess or did state that he did act inappropriately sexually towards young girls. It's not an easy watch because of the subject matter for obvious reasons. But if he can stand it, this is, still interesting, yet dark story about this guy who everyone, you never know who anybody is, right? Until the truth comes out at some point. So it's about an hour episode. Chewy this on the watch list.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I completely forgot about this guy.
I did too, to be honest with you.
Because this happened, yeah, mid 2000s, I
Yeah,
believe, when this
yeah.
all came
When
out.
they came about,
I
yeah.
didn't. wa- I wasn't a fan of the show. Honestly, I didn't
No,
watch much WB, CW at that time. And
agreed,
still don't.
agreed.
Maybe Superman. That was a show I watched, serialized shows back in the day. But aside from that, and I'm not sure how far it's popular, but no, it launched careers of several of their actors
Yep,
to Hollywood and whatnot. I guess probably Jessica Biel being the most famous one
yep,
of that group.
sure.
But had no idea, completely forgot about this. But didn't really pay attention, and so yeah, it's bad. It was like, good lord. Um, the only issue is, uh, I think that they interviewed people who knew him, people former cast members, the victims, which is important, right?
Sure.
Or some of them. But why the hell is Dr. Drew involved in this
Yeah,
at all,
Dr.
dude?
Drew,
That
because
guy and his shenanigans. All I mean, not that he's done anything wrong, but that guy's like all over the
I
place,
think it's
man.
just there to
Sorry,
add
dude.
context to the behavior. Whatever. You're right. You probably could have done without him, but
I mean, why? I mean, why not a real doctor? Then not that radio doctor clown.
whatever.
It's like what was Dr. Philip busy? It's like, okay,
That's
let's
what I'm
go to
saying.
Plan B.
Um,
Dr. Oz was is in Congress. Okay, let's go somewhere else.
People they're very expensive. Yeah, this guy is probably much cheaper. Um,
Probably.
yeah, it's cool because I think one of the actors, I think it was one of the actors. I think it was one of the actors who actually he didn't know what happened, I guess, and they were revealing to him.
There
Yeah,
was one
well, a couple of them
where
really, I
they
guess.
showed the video, his
Yeah,
confession. He was
yeah.
just like totally
Oh, they
shocked,
are.
right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah. So it's interesting to
yeah.
see that, like his reaction instantly. It's not an easy thing to deal with, I'm sure, putting on camera.
Mm.
But yeah, it gets very deep. It's very dark. It's very disturbing. Obviously, the subject
Yeah.
matter is gross. Um, but that said, it was really well put together. It was interesting. I think it's a good story in terms of scandalous, obviously. But yeah, the dark side of Hollywood is what they're trying to explore. So I think we'll expect some of the same out of the next few episodes. So I'm definitely interested in keep continuing to watch this again
Mm.
weekly on Mondays on Max. The other one, Lockerbie, was the bombing of Pan Am. I didn't see this one. I just, I was like, it's a lot of stuff to watch. I just saw the show recently on Peacock. So, Chewy, did you get a chance to dive into this one?
Yeah, I did, and it's so basically. I mean, if you saw the series on on Peacock, this is it, right?
I figured.
Except with the
The real
real
people, right?
victims, the people involved. That one, obviously, that one was just focused on the one family in the UK, but this one brings in the American family because it was mostly Americans on that flight coming home,
Correct.
which they kind of glossed over in the in that dramatization, I guess. But hit all the same points, same aspect, nothing deviated. So paint by colors, it was okay.
Yeah, I figured as much as why I kind of. Like I said, if you haven't seen this show, it's a very interesting. I'm sure it's
Yeah,
interesting to watch.
yeah.
This is a very crazy story what happened, and what's the guy's name for Lebanon? Gaddafi, right? Was that wrong?
Um,
No, is it Gaddafi? The guy went over. I don't know if the documentary touched on it, but on the show,
yeah. I
yeah,
went over, but
yeah,
yeah, as far as trying to convince them to, yeah, to let them go to sand trial
right,
in the
yeah,
Netherlands,
where they shot the
and whatnot.
terrorists.
So yeah, all that was discussed
Okay,
or it looked into and stuff.
okay, so
Yes.
it's interesting subject matter. The next one's getting to some of the shows. This one here was highly anticipated. Got a lot of great buzz. And it's Apple Plus, of course. Why wouldn't it? The Studio. This one here is a comedy. Seth Rogen stars in this. He is an executive at a Hollywood studio, large studio, and he gets promoted to head of the studio. And he's trying to balance because he wants to be the make the art films and all that. And of course, the bosses or the boss, he's like, nah, dude, we want to make the ones that make money, right? In this case, the movie
Mhm.
around Kool-Aid, kind of piggyback off the success, something like Barbie. So
Yeah.
it kind of goes to that. It's very, and I'll say because it's very inside baseball, right? Just like if you're familiar with how movies are made and some of the industry and all that, you'll be right at home here. But yeah, so there's a lot of shenanigans. Him trying to balance that. There's a lot of big names here. Martin Scorsese.
Oh my God. I
Martin
mean,
Scorsese was,
they really. I mean, first you see Walter White, aka Bryan
Bryan
Cranston,
Cranston. Yeah, he's
as the big
the big
boss,
boss of the
right?
studio. Yeah, whatever he
Yeah, he's a
is,
big
the
boss.
owner, whatever. Yeah,
Uh, and obviously there's some you see some comedians that you've seen in other shows and stuff. The comedians from that place and that thing
sure.
you recognize, you just know who they are. But they bring out the bingos. I mean, they bring out Scorsese. Man. I
Yeah,
was
one of
like,
the greatest
wait,
of all
what's the
time. He's
Kool
in
Aid
there.
movie? That's hilarious. I mean, they bring in a name actor, A plus
Charlize
actor.
Theron was in
Yeah,
here.
she's there, a little cameo.
I didn't think she was. I
Hilarious.
thought they talked about it, but they kind of short. I think they were short and shorter. Steve
Yeah,
Buscemi or Buscemi or whatever
Buscemi.
Buscemi,
Yes,
how
yes.
you want to pronounce it. I was a little joking inside with the show. So a
That
lot of
was
big
funny.
names. So it's kind of like I heard it was very entourage like in terms of that sense, and it is like that way. Right, a lot of big names, big stars in there. But listen, ultimately it's a comedy, right? This is what this is billed at, and I thought it was great.
It was hilarious,
I was
dude.
laughing a
Especially
lot.
the second episode was
Oh,
funny. The first one wasn't so funny. I was like,
yeah.
okay,
At
it's
first, I was
interesting.
like, it was good. That's funny moments, but you're right. The second
Yeah.
episode was much shorter, by 26
Well,
minutes.
no, second one was like
It's
Keystone Cops hilarious,
hilarious.
dude.
Like, oh my god, it was vintage Seth Rogen as far as I'm concerned. Um, just oh my god, it's just so good. That, it revolves him and then trying to get a scene filmed, and he wants to does an onset visit.
Mm.
And it's just he can't get it his own way, and it's man, some of the things happen at the end. It was great. I mean, this show is funny, and what do we say? Right, it's all that matters, right? It's if you laugh, who cares about the rest? But it's really well put together. The whole thing with Kool Aid was genius. I mean, especially with Scorsese, and you haven't seen this show. You definitely need. This is a must watch in terms of comedy. I thought it was great.
No, it was. I
This is
mean,
a
this
home
is
run.
the premise of him
Yeah.
wanting to make a Kool Aid,
Um,
but trying to integrate it with Kool Aid and the whole, drinking the Kool Aid and the whole Guyana Jim Jones
Jim Jones, yeah,
massacre,
yeah.
and I was like, whoa, dude,
I mean, genius. That was just genius writing. It really is. Especially bringing in Scorsese just to add that element there. Because
yeah,
that makes sense, right? So Scorsese doing that movie, but he wants to flip it to a Kool
yeah,
Aid, to appease the masses, the boss. Anyway, dude, funny stuff, man. This is such a good show. I really love this show. It's hilarious, and that's all. I mean, yeah, it's a comedy. Goes it's gold. It's gold, Jimmy. It's gold. So definitely,
it's gold,
definitely,
it's gold, dude.
definitely must watch on Apple Plus. 2 episodes dropping in once a week, of course. Next one, Caught. This is yet another Harlan Coben novel, which I mean, I guess this guy's the greatest author I've ever seen. I don't know, whatever. Apparently, but it's another kind of classic, thriller, mystery, whatever. This one, Argentinian, so we support our Latino brethren. 6 episodes here. We got one recently. I think it was, I don't know if it was Belgium or
Polish,
Polish, and that
yeah,
didn't quite
yeah,
work.
no,
With this one here, we have the main character. She's a reporter, I guess, a journalist, and she's following the case of these missing girls, and of course uncovers 1,000 red herrings and the typical stuff you see here trying to solve the mystery. Chew, this on the watch list.
Yeah, it was definitely better than the other one, which I couldn't. I mean, I think I only made one episode, if
Right.
that, and I was like, I jumped off. So I've been watching it, and so I'm enjoying it more. I think the previous iteration was in the English one as well. So, like I said, they're going multicultural on making his books into TV shows. Hey, by all
Whatever.
means.
Fine.
So this this one is not bad. It's an interesting watch, right? And an interesting take. Are you sure it's Argentinian, not Spanish? I thought it was
I
Spanish,
could have
but
sworn I read it was Argentinian. I mean, they spoke Spanish. I mean,
okay,
a lot of these shows are nationalities in terms of the actors and stuff. I thought Argentinian. That's what I read. Maybe
oh,
I
okay,
mean,
okay.
whatever that's worth. Yeah. I mean, it's fine. It's. I mean, I'm not gonna say oh, go watch the show, but if you love Harlan Coben, apparently everyone else does. But apparently every network, at least Netflix anyway. It follows kind of the same format all these other shows do. They're gonna throw the red herring. It's not that, and it's something else until they finally uncover the mystery. And it's a little slow. I don't think the mystery is that interesting. That's not a bad show. I did better than the Polish show we got a couple weeks ago.
Mm.
It's fine. It's okay. I support it because Argentinian, whatever it is Latino. So go watch it, right? For nothing else, for that. But it's just fine. Like I said, not the worst thing I've seen. Next one, we got a documentary, Gold Greed: The Hunt for Fenn's Treasure. This story I was unaware of. It's a three-part series. I did finish this one. This took place in the 2010s, even up to
Yeah,
2020, so it's very recent.
recently,
Yeah,
yeah.
recently we have this guy Fenn who was military, a war hero, a pilot. He then turned into antiques and collectibles and sold them to big names, celebrity names, and all that. And I guess he had money. And one day he decides to bury a treasure, if you will, worth millions of dollars. He gives us clues from this poem that's in his biography, his memoirs, and it caught fire, right? It caught national attention, and whereas a few people hunting for this treasure, it was hundreds of thousands, right, or tens of thousands anyway, hunting for this treasure all over the Midwest, Wyoming down to Colorado, Nevada, I guess, New Mexico. Talking to people who were the geniuses. Well, let me not insult them. I'll just say it's a couple of guys, self-proclaimed geniuses.
Oh
Um,
God,
I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. Uh,
you mean the rednecks?
sure, that's what you want to call it, whatever. But either way, so I thought a lot of characters following this clue. They all thought they had found it, and apparently it was found eventually, but there was some controversy behind that, and Fenn died before that was uncovered. I mean, this is enjoyable. This is fun, dude. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
People were dying trying to search for this treasure because dangerous terrains, and not people that shouldn't be out there in the wilderness or out there in the wilderness, and that's what happens. Shit happens out there. But I thought it was fascinating, the whole thing. I didn't know about it, so for me it was all new. And the Today Show, had Fenn as a guest dropping clues, every month or whatever it was, and I don't know, I never heard about this, but yeah, so it's fascinating to see people trying to follow the Indiana Jones and X marks the spot or doesn't mark the spot. I enjoyed it. 3 parts, so it was quick and easy. Chewy, your thoughts?
I mean, in this case, X. If you look at the arrangement of the two trees, X did mark the
X did
spot
mark
where
the
West, because
spot.
that's where you put it.
That's a fair point. And when it ended up being found.
Oh, yeah, but no, man, very interesting, short to the point. The people involved. There's some characters for sure.
Oh yeah.
Um,
You have to be to go out there
but
and hunt for
but
treasure and waste your resources on that. Ultimately.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, time,
Yeah.
effort, and money.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Yeah.
it was not
Yeah.
easy to look at. Even the one guy at the end who we traced to find it. And he was close. I think he's probably
Oh.
the one that was
Yeah.
closest,
Yeah.
because he was doing it with his brother at the time before he passed away.
Oh yeah.
Not
Yeah.
because of the treasure hunt.
Yeah.
But he went back to kind of finish the mission, right, to see what it was, and I think he was probably one of the
Mm-hmm.
closest ones, besides the guy who actually found it, to get there. He was in the general area, I
Yeah.
think, in the vicinity, but I mean, literally, you take a lot of luck because yeah, it was he had the right area, but I mean, you needed to like comb that whole
Yeah.
zone, and
Yeah.
he would probably come up and found and see the box because it wasn't buried, it was just literally
Mm-hmm.
just between two trees. But so you kind of feel bad for him because like, oh, so
So
close.
close.
But and so they made it into a neat story, bringing in the people and interviews and people who are involved. Now the whole thing, that one guy we talked about, I'm not sure if this is true or not, or if this is just part of the show. But he said he's buried his own treasure, and the clues are in the video is like, do I have to go back and wait
Uh,
for the clues? And
I don't got the time. If they got to South Florida, now we're having that conversation. I ain't flying on nowhere. He tells me, look, this I'll be somewhere. All right, let's go back and I'll comb this. I'll comb this documentary backs and forwards, no doubt. Other than that, no. But yeah, I guess there's another treasure out there, particular. So if you're interested in that, the treasure hunting, apparently you can find a new one here just because of the documentary. So it is what it is.
Go for it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's definitely cool. Something different, right? We haven't seen this kind of stories before, so I enjoyed it. This last one, Mid-Century Modern. This is a old school sitcom style comedy in front of a live audience and all that. We don't see those very often in a while. Nathan,
Is there a live audience,
live.
or is it a
I
tape?
looked it up. It's live audience. I mean, again, from what I read,
Okay.
but it could be
Okay.
incorrect. But it did seem though that you can always tell by the way it's kind of filmed and all that. But yeah, so we got your three, four besties. One just recently passed away. Three gay guys, a little bit older, and one's retired and he's got a nice house in South Florida somewhere. And they're kind of coping with their friend's death, and Nathan Lane wants the other two to live with him, right? He was going to be alone, and he cares for these guys, and hilarity ensues, or does it? It did it for me. Listen, I get a show about an episode and a half. It's just moments where I'm like, okay, it's kind of funny, but this is a reason why TV has evolved, right? Back in the day, the sitcom was king, right? Back in the 80s and 70s, All in the Family and whatever show you can come up with, Family Ties and et cetera, et cetera. There's a reason why that kind of died out through the 90s, right? Think like Friends and Seinfeld, maybe the last of the Mohicans for the most part. Before it turned to more of the kind of mockumentary style ones, Community, Parks and Rec, The Office, Modern Family. This is it just is a reason why that's no longer there, and I get it. It's just the comedy's so obvious. They try very hard. The laughter, it's kind of distracting now, and it just didn't work for me. I'm not gonna say it's a bad show. It just didn't work for me. Chewy.
No, I'm out. Um,
I want to like it.
yeah, yeah, it harkens back to the old style sitcoms of live audience, but it's just like it keeps trying to bring jokes and make
Right.
it funny,
Yes.
it almost sounds like a laugh track more than the audience laughing, because it's just not hitting. It's just not. I think so yeah, sitcom, that type of sitcom, it definitely evolved.
Yeah.
So like probably like most recent ones that I've watched, the Goldbergs, which I thought was because it was harking
Uh,
back to the '80s stuff,
uh,
and which I found hilarious and stuff. Even Big Bang Theory, which is very popular. But this is not that. This
no.
is trying to play on all tropes, trying to set up situations that are just
You've seen
ridiculous,
them all
and trying
already.
to make
Yeah.
them
Maybe
funny.
jokey like,
it,
okay, here it
it
comes.
it's just it's just too much, man. It's that
Yeah.
it's
It didn't work, and
yeah.
the premise is cool. I think this as more modern style sitcom would have worked a lot better. I thought personally. It's off putting. It really is. It's off putting. I mean, if you and then we grew up with that stuff, but even with that, I'm like, I can't.
I can't. Yeah,
My taste,
this is not worth my
the
time.
taste has
Yeah.
passed. So it did not work. So it's off. Yeah,
Give me the studio, and I'll legitimately laugh. I
yeah.
don't
The
need the
studio,
audience
yeah,
to tell me when to
yeah. Because
laugh.
the studio does a lot more situational stuff, which works.
Yeah.
These guys are just yakking up jokes, and some hit. Don't get me wrong. And I was not laughing sometimes, but it was just cringy, very cringy most of the time. So yeah, this is a hard pass, no doubt about it. So that's it for this week. So again, not a lot of stuff. I saw a couple interesting documentaries are good, so why not? And the studio, absolutely. I won't hark on that enough. That show's great.
Oh, hilarious, man. Hilarious stuff.
Really, really good show. So no doubt.
Before we get
Mhm.
into the next 2 weeks, did you sit through the Marvel announcement of Doomsday?
Dude, I ain't have time to watch all these shows and not sitting down through 8 hours of stupid chairs.
I was like, if anyone sat through it for 5 hours,
Ridiculous.
okay, I guess you had nothing to do.
Ridiculous.
I just caught the highlights on the
Of
stream. It's like
course,
with every little
you're
snippets.
watching in the end, whatever. That's it. My friend too texted me.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't know what's
yeah.
going on. My friend texted me, "Hey, there's a Marvel thing going on." I was like, "Yeah, on Instagram." He's like, "Yeah, the show."
And I was like, I had no idea. I was like, I see
Right.
like the old school X-Men. I was like, oh shit, Alan Cummings,
No,
wow. Rebecca Romaine, okay, she guess she's got to eat. I guess
listen,
what's her name was too busy. So like, okay,
they
cool.
all gotta eat. They have everybody.
Good to see Gambit coming back again. So
Gotta eat.
successful run on X-Men and Wolverine and
Well, he
Deadpool.
does
So I'm glad to see.
does a reality show on Peacock. I forget what it's called. The Who Done It, not the Who Done It. He does some show on Peacock. He hosts it. It's like a reality show. Something. I
Oh,
don't watch
I
it.
don't even know.
Yeah, but I don't watch it. But either way, but I know he's even.
Oh, the traders. Oh yeah,
The
the traders. The
Traders.
traders. I've heard good things about it, but
Yeah,
yeah, the
yeah. But he
traders.
does
Okay.
host that show.
Okay.
So
Okay. Well, yeah, yeah. But I mean, serious acting. I mean, it's been a
Oh,
while
fair
since we've
enough.
seen him.
Fair enough. Well, we saw the
Um.
documentary with the chimpanzee woman.
Oh yeah. Well, but he was
I know.
part of
I
the.
know.
He wasn't
Oh,
hosting
well,
it, so
he
okay,
got a little
whatever.
money there for sure. I'm just saying.
Well, okay. Anyway,
But
he's
either way,
eating.
sorry.
Good for him. Tatum Channing. Good to see him reprise the role again, which was hilarious. They brought back the lone Latino in the MCU. Apparently, the pumpkin is still alive, so that's good. That's a good thing. Hey, at least they didn't cut. One
Whatever,
and
dude.
done.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man.
He went and done his movie, I think. It's
We'll take him. We'll take
that's
him,
Eric's
dude. He's
prediction that
305,
that
dude.
he's gonna get killed. I was like, I don't know about all that, but it could happen, which makes these things even worse. I'd rather just not even see. If you're gonna kill him out, don't even bring him. What's the point? Whatever. I'm not gonna deal with that. But if you had that
So
much
I
time,
thought,
if you
like
go
I
watch
said,
that
I mean,
and listen, you can do what you want with your time. But come on, guys. I mean, come on.
I'll say this. I thought it was. I mean, like I said, didn't go into plot. Didn't go. It wasn't even a trailer. It was just who's in
It's
it, and
chairs.
to garner that much attention. I'm like, dude, that's all you gotta do. That's like so. Anyone who says Marvel is dead, you're fooling
Well,
yourselves.
no,
It's
Marvel
not
was never
by far.
dead. Well,
Well, people want greatness again, right? They want to go
right.
back
It's
to what
not
we.
dead, but it's not what it used to be. That whether
No. I
you know.
mean, maybe it's on the way up because obviously after Deadpool and Wolverine,
Well,
that I guess
well,
reinvigorated.
no, because then Captain
Uh,
America just ruined all that. So it just
well,
it is what
I
it
don't know if
is.
it ruined it. I enjoyed it, whatever. But
I mean, I guess as a whole, I'm talking about consensus, right?
oh yeah,
It
yeah, yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
well
yeah,
received, for whatever that's worth, right?
yeah.
So whatever good way, it's just back to what it was. But either way, we'll get to Marvel is not the format, but no, yeah. But if you, it's too much things to watch. That people sit down for 8 hours watch chairs. I'm sorry, it's too much stuff.
I don't think anyone actually saw. I mean, I
I'm sure
caught like the.
people must have left it on. I'm sure
I
a lot of that
I would
happened.
get notifications of the new
Right.
video coming out. So I go watch it. Okay, good,
Yeah,
cool. Then go
I'm
back to
sure
my day.
some people started and they're like, "What the hell is this?" 15, then like they're out and left it on in the background. Oh, cool. Next name, I could see that. But I'm sure people like just whatever. I'm not even gonna get to it. It is what it is. It's a wait and see for me. Show me that something's good.
No, yeah. Like this.
Yeah, show me something
I
good
mean,
and now.
it seems a little aggressive, right? Because it's supposed to come out next year and they're starting production. I don't know if that's, call me crazy, maybe
Desperate.
call me optimistic, but we've seen delays. And, I don't want them to rush it because they're trying to hit a May
That's
26th or
correct.
July 26th
Yes,
deadline.
it's a year
And
from now.
we're April and its production just started. Not filming, not on location, just
That's
production. And so usually
ambitious.
production
Yes.
is a 2 to 4 month
Well,
process, give or take.
as far as the photography is going to be a movie this size, probably 4 5 to 6 months, depending on the scope of the film. We'll say four.
Plus
We'll say four.
reshoots. Yeah, well, don't be throwing the reshoots, and yes, it's definitely
Maybe
5 to 6
It,
months.
it depends on the scope of the film, but post production takes
Yeah,
at least 6 months.
like I said, don't
Yeah.
rush it just to hit a deadline. I mean,
Well,
make it
and from what I
great.
heard inside source, the script's not finalized yet. That's
So that's not that's an issue, but
it's
it's
about the
like
film. We don't have a script. So I find out.
yeah, exact. Or you're then doing stuff, and then they have to go back because it doesn't
Right, or
work
you're
and reshoot
scrambling
again.
as
So
you and that happens. We'll see. It's a wait and see. I'm not gonna bash
yeah.
it. Maybe they give us something great, and I'll praise it if it sucks.
But we should get some snippets at Comic-Con of additional drops. This is not the complete list from what I hear.
Well, it's not. But I think D23 is what they usually do that kind of stuff. We'll see.
Is there a
Well, I
D23
don't know. If
this
there
year?
isn't, then fine, fair enough. But if there is,
No, there isn't. It's every 2 years. So
okay.
that was one
Well,
last year. So
then
that's
in
why
that
it's not
case,
going to
then maybe
be.
at Comic-Con will
Yeah.
something
So
like
that's
that.
why
Okay.
rest assured, the Comic Con's gonna now. They might not have a panel and show. Maybe they will, because they got movies
Well,
coming out.
they're gonna
But
have
they'll definitely save some numbers, name some names for
I got.
Comic Con
I'm sure
announcements.
they're gonna have a Fantastic Four screening, which I think we should try to go to.
I think yeah, because last year they had the
Deadpool,
Wolverine
yeah,
one, which
because it came out
they
at the
had
same time, right?
which was a complete fiasco with people and how they ran it.
Of
But that's another
course, but
story.
I would like to do that. But either way, but yeah. So it is what it is. Next week, we're not focusing on May 2027 or 26. Let's
Oh, sorry,
focus on
sorry.
April 5th or 6th of this year. So
Okay,
it's a huge 2 weeks. It's a lot of stuff coming out.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Cuts are going to be made here. It's too much to watch.
Well,
Um,
starting today, man, we got a good one that's coming out.
yeah,
I'm excited.
on oops, I don't know why I have the 11th here. That's my bad. And it's not even Netflix. It's Paramount. My mistake. It's on
Yeah.
Paramount. I hadn't had
No,
Netflix here for some
cow.
reason. It's on Paramount
Today,
today. Yeah.
Paramount,
Mobland
Mobland.
crime
Yeah.
show.
Guy
Guy
Ritchie
Ritchie. Guy
production.
Ritchie directs the first two episodes. We have Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren, Tom Hardy. Big names here.
Tom
Yeah,
Hardy,
so I'm
dude.
looking
You,
forward to this.
you start with Tom Hardy, then talk about the
Fair.
other
Well, I want to
guys.
respect the elders who paved the way for
Oh,
those
okay.
such as Tom Hardy. He is James Bond, Pierce Brosnan. Let's not forget that. Just to throw it out there. On the 31st, I think that's tomorrow or Tuesday. I don't know. Long
Yeah,
Monday.
Monday. Yeah.
So
Okay.
Netflix,
Yeah.
Gone Girls, the Long Island serial killer. It's another one of those serial killers. People love that kind of stuff, kind of crime stuff on the documentaries on Netflix. Of course, we got
Hmm.
on the second, Saritas Garnachas. It's a street foods Mexico. The
Yes,
street
sir.
food series, of course, on Netflix. Very cool if you like the food stuff. It's all very enjoyable.
We love ourselves a good Mexican taco,
That's what
not
I'm saying. After
Tex-Mex.
eating before watching, because I always get hungry watching these shows. It's kind of how it is. On the third, interesting, we got another animated show, Devil May Cry, based off a video game property, PlayStation. I
Yes,
love the
sir. Yeah.
game. I think PS2, even the last one, PS4. Big fan of it. So he's kind of a demonic. He's not really a demon, but he fights demons. Whatever kids got powers and yada yada yada, and he's slicing and dicing. So, but he's very very charismatic, very funny character. So I hope the animation does it justice.
Mhm.
On the third, we got Pulse, another kind of medical drama on Netflix.
Yes. Another
We
one.
get you got Pitt, of course. Pitt's gotten better for me on Max. Very interesting.
Oh man,
It's
Pen
good.
is great
It's a good
because
show.
it's just it's unique.
Yeah,
A 24-esque type of continuing firing a 15-hour day. You may think 15 hours is too long, but I think in the context of this story that's been presented, we're at hour
it
13.
works.
It
It works.
works.
Yeah. So this
Yes.
one has a lot to live up with, right? Because now I have that, which is still ongoing for a couple more weeks. So
Yes.
this should be in a short leash. This has to be not saying pick good, but it's gotta come close. On the third, on Prime, this is an interesting one. The Bondsman. Kevin Bacon, the great, the legendary Kevin Bacon. Maybe I'm exaggerating. But this one here, I guess he is he died. He was a what do they call it? A bounty hunter, and now I guess
Hmm.
he has to go out and bounty hunting demons or creatures that escape from hell. Is that kind of
Yeah.
okay? So this could be kind of a Evil Dead kind of vibe to it.
Well, yeah,
You know,
he's given a chance to come back to life, but only to work to round up demons that have escaped hell or escaped hell or didn't show up, whatever the case may be.
gotcha. It looks interesting. It
So
looks like it could be
yeah.
kind of whacking up to be good.
Hmm.
On the fourth is a History Channel, secretly classified. Of course, David Duchovny is the host of this one there, whatever moderator, whatever.
Of
X
X-Files
Files
fame.
fame, it's out there. So one of those kind of unraveling truths and whatever the case is. So whatever. And then the week after that, another big week. We got The Handmaid's Tale coming back for its final season on Hulu. I never really got into it. Good show. I just never got into it. But I get it. So it's finishing up its 5 season run.
I did. I've enjoyed
Oh
it,
yeah, I heard.
and
Yeah, yeah,
good to see it come to an
yeah,
end.
exactly. I think it's a good time for it. The 5 seasons. The next one, How to Sell Drugs Online Fast, season 4 on Netflix. I showed another.
I thought it ended with season 3. To be
This is
quite
one
honest, I was like
I
shocked. It's like there's a
I
season
don't remember even
4.
watching the show. To be honest with you, so I don't think I did. I don't.
Well, it's a German comedy, or try to be comedy. It's a German show. Let's
More
say this.
stupid Nazis. I ain't watching that. Just
Dude,
kidding.
stop,
I'm
dude.
kidding.
Uh, it's based on true events
Right.
of a guy who learned and figured out how to sell drugs online, literally set up a website, dark web,
I think there was a
and
documentary on this. I think, if I'm not mistaken,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
I did see the
Okay, I did see
documentary
that.
on
Yep.
this as well. There
Yep.
was a one-part documentary on Netflix as well that showed the guy and what happened to him and how he got out and maybe got back in again, unfortunately. But so maybe this expands on what he did, and maybe that's why they bought a season 4, because the story is clearly not over.
All right, apparently not. On the ninth, we'll stick with Netflix again. That's the Dad Quest. Is kind of I think it's a family show, maybe. I didn't see the trailer,
Yeah,
but I guess a dad and son, I guess, discover that they're not really blood related. So go on a trek down to Mexico to discover, the truth or whatever.
yeah, makes
Um,
exactly.
on the 10th, you got a movie, G20 on Prime. Don't expect a whole lot of this, to be honest with you. I have a chance to see it for free this weekend. I'm probably not going to go. That's how strongly I feel about this movie. Viola
Okay.
Davis, I guess she's the president, and I know she gets kidnapped or something, and she's fighting back or whatever. So whatever, sure,
Whatever.
why not? I guess. And then one I'm excited about is Black Mirror comes back also on the 10th for a 7th season. A big fan of the show, anthology series. Mixed bag of episodes throughout, but when it hits, right? And then we get
But this one has a couple of returning episodes.
the, the
The Star Trek
I love
knockoff
the
one.
the Callister, which I love that episode.
Yeah, and
Huge
there
fan.
was I think there was another one that was a
Oh, there's another one? Oh,
continuation.
I
I
didn't
can't
know that.
remember.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay.
Yeah, I think it wasn't just that. I think there was two where it was a
Okay,
continuation
cool.
or expanding of a previous episode. I believe so. I'm like, okay, good. And plus, and obviously we'll get some new ones
Yeah,
and
no,
stuff. So
exactly.
it's
Yeah,
very interesting take.
looking forward to that one for sure. Also on the 10th, a big day. We got North by North, North, sorry,
That's a comedy.
comedy. It's a
Yeah.
young girl, I guess discovering herself. She's in the Antarctic.
Yes.
Um, Comedy. We'll see. On the 10th, because of the return of Hacks, speaking of comedies, which you don't have to see, it's a
Yes,
good
sir.
comedy. Critically acclaimed, Emmy Award winning for season. Enjoy the show. Great writing on the show. It's very good coming back. It's not the final season, is it? I don't think so.
I don't
They
know,
haven't said anything.
but you never know with these shows,
Well,
right?
fair enough, but they usually announce these kind of things. Apple Plus coming back again. There's too many shows on that. Apple, slow down, dude. Relax. Let Netflix do Netflix. You be Apple. I mean, it's too much shit going on. These weekly shows are killing me. John Hamm starring in Your Friends and Neighbors. John Hamm, who I guess is a hedge fund investor, gets fired from his job, and now I guess decides to rob his rich neighbors in some way, but discovers that the secrets they hide are worse than his. Something along those lines. And I'm not sure if this is a comedy or like a dramedy.
Yeah, it's probably
Dramedy.
dramedy.
Okay,
We'll
I didn't
see.
get a chance to see the trailer. And then lastly, I guess Netflix, The Gardener. This one here is a thriller series. I guess we have a hitman who, is going after a victim, whatever a client sends him off to kill somebody, and I guess he ends up liking the girl he's supposed to kill. Something along those
Is
lines.
this Mexican or Spanish
I don't know.
or?
It's foreign. I don't know for where exactly.
Oh, okay.
I get a chance to put the trailer on this one, but Hitman, I'm down. Sure, why not? I guess, and he's posing as a gardener as his cover. I guess
Yeah,
was the whole
yeah.
premise of that one. So listen, there's a lot. Ooh, there's a lot of stuff going on in the next couple of weeks. So we'll batten down the hatches and I'll get to most of these, most of these as I can. As it is, I gotta watch my studio. Something's gotta give. I'm just saying. Dope Thief, I'm enjoying. There's a lot of cool shows out there. I gotta see Reacher. I haven't finished Reacher yet. I'm gonna watch it today.
Oh, dude,
I gotta
yeah,
see.
good
Yeah,
ending,
yeah.
man.
I'm sure. Yeah, I heard it's good. I know
Reacher, kicking ass. Like always, love that
it's a
show.
fun show. He
Um,
fights the CGI guy. Is not real. I refuse to believe it's a guy that size up there in this world.
well,
It's-
there is a kick ass fight scene with that
yeah, no,
guy,
that's
and it goes
that
on and on and on.
finally,
And it's
that's what I'm
like
waiting for, man. It's like, damn, this is
that's yeah, it's
more
there,
seasons.
it's
Like, we're gonna
there.
fight this
But
big guy. What? Dude, you spend all this money in CGI and that you use it correctly. But
no, they make good use of him here in
no,
this
I'm good. I'm
episode.
good. I'm excited about that.
So you won't be
Fair
disappointed.
enough. So I'll watch that tonight. But that says what it says. A lot of stuff out there to watch. I don't want to hear people say it's nothing to watch. It's nonsense. And then next week there's like 18 shows coming out, for Christ's sake. There's plenty to watch. I didn't say it's all good to watch, but just something to at least try to watch. So that's it. Join
Yeah.
us here on Sundays. We'll break down all these shows, letting you know what you should be watching. I'll give you our opinions, of course. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It's free, it's easy. Help us out. And we'll see you guys next week.